So you're wanting to come to Thailand. Well, here is a quick checklist of everything that you need to take care of ahead of time. The first one being you better have a passport. If you don't have a passport, obviously you're going to need one to come here. But if you already do have a passport, make sure that it doesn't expire anytime that you'll be in Thailand. Also make sure you have enough pages available, because once you're in the country, and you're using that passport all the time. As a matter of fact, if you get pulled over by a police officer, if you're driving a motorcycle or whatever, you're supposed to keep your passport on you at all times. And immigration is constantly stamping things on your passport, and they require that you have pages available. So just keep that in mind. Now, the next thing you're going to want is a visa. So this video is basically a checklist, and I'm going to give you some links down below in the description for more in-depth on each subject in case you want to know more. But you're going to need a visa. Now, everybody's different ages, different reasons for being in Thailand. All these things come into play. So you're really going to need to research what kind of visa you're eligible for and how to get it. Now, my suggestion, this is the quick version. Like I said, I'll have links in the description for the in-depth version. For passports, what I did, because I read online what was available, but lo and behold, there's more choices available if you hear from an expert here in Thailand than what you're going to read about online. So what I did is I went through a company called Assist Thai Visa. All I didn't pay anything. I just went on their Facebook page, told them all about myself, what our situation was, and what would be the best visa type for me. And they were able to walk me through it, tell me what I needed to do. They didn't charge me anything to do it. Now, once I came to Thailand, we did go through them for other services that we did end up paying them for. But if you're needing this information up front, they're a fantastic way to find out what kind of visa you need. Now, don't forget they speak Thai here, and you're probably wondering, well, if I go there and I don't speak any Thai, am I going to be okay there? Yes, you'll be fine in the bigger cities, but not everywhere in the bigger cities. I mean, you can go to some places, some gas stations or little tiny stores. They may not speak any English, but for the most part in the bigger cities, you can get by with just speaking English. I would suggest highly that you learn at least the greetings, thank you, hello, goodbye, all those things. It's more polite, and you'll just kind of fit in better around here if you do make an attempt to at least say hello, goodbye, and thank you very much. Now, don't forget, you can utilize things such as Google Translate. They have an app, they have a website, but they also have an app for your phone. If you need to read signs, you can use the whole thing where you can take a picture of the sign or just use it in live video mode, and it will translate from Thai to English for you, which is very helpful. And you can also use it to talk into and translate if you find yourself in an instance where they don't speak any English whatsoever and the subject matter is above your head in Thai and you need to speak to them as well. I've had to use that many times. It isn't the greatest thing in the world, but it does work. Now, the next thing about coming to Thailand that you probably want to know something about is, where do you move to? Well, you got to answer the questions. Do you want to live in the mountains? Do you want to live in the middle of the jungle? Do you want to live by the ocean? Because that's going to determine where you live. So let's talk about that a little bit. So in the south region of Thailand, that's where you're going to find all of the beaches and a lot of the islands, and all that stuff is going to be in the south. Now, the big thing I can tell you, the difference between the south and the north, well, I mean, there's a lot of differences, but one of the big ones is cost of living. The cost of living is low here in Thailand in general. However, if you go to the more touristy areas, Koh Samui, or you're going to, let's say, Phuket or Pattaya, or even Bangkok, those areas cost more in Thailand, and it gets cheaper as you go north. I live in Chiang Mai, which is at the very top of the country, and that is a lot cheaper than it is down south. So if you're trying to pinch every penny you can, You may want to move up north if being by the beach is not that big of a deal for you. Now, if you're moving to Thailand, you're probably wondering what you're going to do about your phone number that you have in your country of origin. How are you going to use that over here? Well, I've got a video down in the description that I will send you to get more in detail, but I'll give you the overview. For one, pay off your phone. Make sure you're not owing any company that your service is through. So your phone needs to be totally paid for. You're going to have the phone company unlock your phone. So let's say you're with company A as your phone company. They've got your phone locked to their company. They're going to need to unlock it. Then what you can do is port your phone using Google Voice. And what porting is, you're basically paying a $20 fee to Google Voice, and you're going to transfer your phone number that you normally use in your home country to work with Google Voice. So when somebody calls your number in your home country, it gets routed to Google Voice, and then it will ring your new Thai phone number. The phone you had in your home country, you bring it here, you get a new SIM card for Thailand, and you're going to have a Thai number assigned to you. And it works with Google Voice. So if I get a phone call, tell you how this works. If I get a phone call, I'm from the US, and it comes through, they call my old number, my phone does not ring. But once they leave a message, or even if let's say they don't leave a message, I'm going to know about it. Google Voice will pop up on my phone. It'll say I just missed a call from this number. Or if they leave a voicemail, or they leave me a text message, I will receive it. Which means when you're setting up your banking in your home country, if you're keeping that and you're coming here and you're going to open another bank account, that's great. But if you need to do things with your bank account back home, and they have that authorization, when you're trying to do something online, but they send you something to your phone to verify that it's you, it will still work because they send that SMS, they send it by text, and with Google Voice, it will show up right to your phone. Now, don't think, let's say you're coming from the US here and you're needing to do that authentication. The bank, if it's a US bank, is not going to let you use a Thai phone number. At least I don't believe they will. It didn't work for me. So just keep this in mind. You want to research it. And like I said, I'll point you down below to a video where we talked about it just a little bit more in detail. Income. Now make sure you have a way to make income here. If you're retired coming here, maybe you got a retirement, a pension, something like that, you're probably fine. If you're younger, let's say you're let's call yourself a digital nomad, you're coming here to do some sort of work, make sure you have a way to make an income, preferably from your home country. Let me explain. So if you're coming to Thailand and wanting to get a job here, you can, and you'll get paid, but the problem is they pay people here a lot less than what you can make, more than likely, from the country you come from. So in other words, I would rather make a salary, a US salary, here in Thailand where it goes a long way, than to be here in Thailand and work in Thailand and try to make a living off of what they pay you here in Thailand. Hopefully that makes sense. And for some of you on a very low budget, it may work for you, but just keep that in mind. Housing is another thing you're gonna have to deal with here. And I'm gonna tell you what I've told many people in the past that want to come here. First of all, if you've never been here before, or you haven't been to the city that you think you wanna live in, don't get in a long-term rental agreement, and definitely don't find a place online and rent it before you get here. I've already made that mistake once. I'm not going to do that one again, nor will I let you do that if possible. What I would suggest for you to do is, figure out an area where you would like to move. Get an Airbnb in that area, for like 2 weeks or so, even a month, whatever you feel comfortable with, just to get an idea of the area. Do you like it? What areas do you like a little bit better than the one you're in? And then try to find a house for rent or a condo or whatever you need for your particular situation. Try to find that. And if you want to know how to find properties. Yep, that's down in the description too. I walk you through the website that I send everyone to, where you can put in what style of home, whether you want a condo, you want a house, all that good stuff, and what your budget is, and it'll show you everything that's in your price range in whatever city you're looking at. Now, don't forget about insurance. Insurance necessarily, I mean, there are requirements here, but I'm talking about health insurance. So where if you come here and you get injured, you want some insurance, and it's not that expensive. Now, there's an individual who is from Canada, and he's the one that I bought my insurance, my health insurance and life insurance through, and he can work with whatever your budget is and kind of give you the pros and cons of the policies that he can show you, and make sure that it's going to be something that works for you. Now, if you've heard that the price of healthcare here is low, you're right. You know, so if I'm going in, let's say, got a bad headache, I got a rash on my arm or something like that, you can go in even without an appointment on some cases and get right in, and the medical facilities are all great. But if you get into a major accident or something that's going to cost a lot of money, I wish I could sit here and tell you that you will get a great rate on that. But from what I've heard, there could be dual pricing in this. In other words, for a Thai person in the same situation with the same injury, it could possibly be less than what you will be charged as a foreigner. So I'm warning you ahead of time. You might want to get some sort of insurance. Transportation here. If you're going to be here for any significant amount of time, let's go over the modes of transportation. So if you're going here for a short time, you can get away with things like using their version of Uber here, which is like Grab or Bolt, which are apps that you use on your phone, just like you would Uber. Now, if you're gonna be here longer, you might want to rent a motorcycle or a car. So you may say, well, what are the license requirements for a car? Well, if you have an international driver's license from your home country, should be fine. What if you just have a driver's license from your home country? Then you can come here, you've got to watch a video, you got to do some paperwork, you got to take a small, insignificant medical exam where they take your blood pressure, and that's about it. But you're going to have to do all those. You're going to have to go to their land transport office. You're going to spend a day doing this, more than likely, and you're going to need to get a driver's license once you've submitted all that for your driver's license. Now, if you're going to do a motorcycle, same thing, but you got to have a motorcycle license previous from your country of origin. So if you don't have a motorcycle license from your home country, you're going to have to go through a 2-day class here in order to get a motorcycle license. So keep that in mind. You want to look for motorcycle driving school in whatever city you're looking at to come to here in Thailand. Opening a checking account. If you're going to be here for a while, you really should open a checking account here in Thailand. Yes, you do need to have a residence, and I'm not talking about a residence at a hotel. You know, if you're here, you've got a place, you need to get a bank account. It will help you immensely. It'll help you do something called bank transfers, which is a way to pay for goods and services here in Thailand. People use it all the time here. And we've got an account with Bangkok Bank. They've been really good to us. We've had no problems. And we love their app, so we can do all kind of transfers, and most everything, 99.9% of everything we do on our app on the phone with Bangkok Bank. As a matter of fact, the only time we've been in is to open our account. Now, you may hear stories from other people that have been to Thailand and tried to open a bank account that it is a nightmare. I would say, yeah, it is a nightmare if you don't speak any Thai, because in our experience, when we went there, they had all these employees, no one did speak Thai. Luckily, we found somebody who spoke English and Thai. They were a foreigner. They were just there for their own checking needs, but they were able to assist us, and that's pretty much the only way we got through it. Keep in mind, if you're wanting to move to Thailand, that, and this may seem very obvious, the climate may be different from where you came from. It's hot all year round for the most part. Right now, I'm coming to you in the month of December. This is the nicest month of the year where the temperature's a little bit cooler, but there is no cold here. So you're gonna have to get used to the temperature and make sure you bring close with you. And I would say that if there are two hard things to get here, is gloves if you have bigger hands and shoes if you have bigger feet. So I would definitely say you need to bring those things with you. Last but not least, expect some culture shock. When you get here, as an American coming here, everything is different. And there's a lot of miscommunications. You gotta make sure to hold it together, because a lot of times someone may speak a little English and you speak English to them and you think they understand you. And to be polite, they act like they understand you when they really didn't. I'm guilty for the same thing going the other way. So a lot of times I ordered Coke one time, Coke Light, and I received a rack of ribs. I mean, there's all kinds of miscommunication that goes on. I've got all kinds of funny stories I can tell you, but just keep in mind that everything is different. If you're coming from the US, they drive on the other side of the road, on the other side of the car. Obviously they're speaking a different language here than you're probably used to. And the food's different, everything's different. It's wonderful, but it is different. So just get ready for a little bit of culture shock. And just to give you a little bit of myself having experience with this, usually takes about 6 months. After about 6 months, things start to seem more normal and you start to feel like you fit in just a little bit better. Well, I hope these things have helped you. Like I said, don't forget to go in the description and find more detailed videos, including cost of living and things like that. So thank you. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And if you feel so inclined, buy us a coffee. We'd really appreciate it. And until next time, I'm going to say thank you in Thai, Kap Kun Kap.